So, dear friends, I welcome you to my memoir. I am Thomas, Tom in short. I was a soldier, fighting enemies in deserts, jungles, and mountains. After taking early retirement from the army, I migrated to the great city, pursuing a career as a full-time writer. Some change in my pocket and looking desperately for a place to stay. That was when I met Marty, my friend from my old doctorate days.
You are looking for a flat for rent? You know, that's a strange thing. You are the second person who said this to me today.
He was the one who introduced me to the person about whom today I am going to tell you. This is his story. My eccentric flatmate. Probably my only true friend. But above all, the greatest detective to ever live. Mr. Lab. To share a glimpse of his greatness, he was the one who solved the case of the missing mummy and exposed the gang of smuggler rodents who dug tunnels in the grounds to take out the valuables from the ancient tombs. Exposed the Ring of Foxes and put an end to their terrorism. Also, solved the famous video game mystery, which was one of rare occasions where he needed to use his firearm along with his extraordinary brain. Most importantly, I should not miss his most popular case of missing identity, which gained him fame worldwide. However, all of these did not happen until much later. When I met him, he was just a young detective sergeant of the police force looking for a place to stay. Even then, he had his uncanny power of deduction and a brilliant mind with a nose for solving crimes. On the topic of nose, I recall one time, a few years back, he mentioned he knew the moment we had met that I had a nose for fishy things. I never figured out whether he meant figuratively or quite literally. A couple of years after we met, he quit the force and became a private detective. Since then, I have been fortunate enough to tag along with him on his grand adventures, and my readers never had any shortage of exciting writing content. People were always curious to know about his life outside his work. And today, in his absence, I can say this much: his life was mostly work, solving crime, fighting culprits, putting or keeping them behind bars, using his famous deduction abilities and observation skills. However, throughout the years I have spent with Mr. Lab, I came to notice there were two occasions outside his regular work which brought him genuine happiness. First, his every Sunday morning routine when he played his violin for 2 hours without a miss. And second was his occasional meetings with his elder brother Mr. Goldie, short form of Goldencroft. Mr. Goldie worked for the government treasury department. He was a true gentleman, in attitude as well as in attire. I have barely seen him without a neatly ironed suit. Mr. Lab was extremely fond of his big brother. He seldom confided to me that his brother's intelligence and deduction was much more sophisticated than his own. But he never mentioned any of those in front of him. My readers probably ask me a million times, what made him a great detective? Was it the cases? Was it his deduction skills? Or was it simply his method for solving crimes? For years, I have searched for the answers myself. Until one day, the answer dawned upon me. It was the adversaries. His most dangerous enemies made him the greatest detective. The dangerous Captain Hound of Bastonville and his deadly associates was among them. For a good many years, everyone believed that the woods in Bastonville are haunted, until my friend revealed it was nothing but Captain Hound, the notorious fugitive, camped in the jungle, scaring people away to hide their illegal operation. The beautiful Miss Eileen Poodler was one of the most cunning villains he ever came across. She was beautiful as well as intelligent. Probably an ideal match for Mr. Lab. She was leading the list of world's most wanted criminals for stealing royal antiques all across globe. She actually once came so close to defeat Mr. Lab in the case of the Scandal of Barkemia. However, the one above all, the one who actually has beaten Mr. Lab, his arch nemesis, will always remain the professor. The smartest mathematician, expert martial artist, Prime Minister's close friend, chairman of World Scientific Association, and mastermind of an evil criminal syndicate. Professor Bulliardi. After all, he was the one who threw Mr. Lab the final problem. The ultimate challenge. For which, Mr. Lab had to put his everything online to stop him. Today marks exactly a decade since we moved into 221B, Barber Street. Hence, this small memoir is a reflection of our adventures together. Who would have thought, given our long history of animosity, a feline and a canine will be staying under the same roof, fighting crime against the world? It is time for our new adventure, Lab's new case. A conspiracy related to national security. According to Lab, it is his most challenging case till date. And somehow, the evil professor is in the center of all this. He also mentioned name of a place, which holds the key to solve this case. It has a peculiar name. Reichenbach? Or something similar to that. Anyway, I am excited to see how the mystery unfolds. Now is the time for me to bid goodbye to you all. Hopefully for not too long. We will meet again soon, with the next adventure of Mr. Lab, or, as the world knows him, the genius detective. Sure Lab Bones. Solving mysteries with me, his not-so-smart friend, Dr. Tom. Or as you all know me, Dr. Thomas Katzen.